Am I the a-hole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager? My 25 female father married my stepsister's 23 female mother when I was 4 and she was 3. We've lived together most of our lives in our family. She and I were extremely close. She developed cancer when I was 14 and was sick for about 2 years. She's since made a full recovery. During that time, my parents became understandably overprotective. They asked a lot of me. I quit my extracurricular activities so I could get a job. The money went towards her medical bills and so I could drive her to appointments. I didn't go to dances or do any fun activities, but I did need to include her. I did almost all of this willingly, with the exception of having to quit my high school volleyball team. I did throw a bit of a tantrum after that, but was swiftly punished. And I think having one emotional breakdown was pretty chill given the circumstances. Anyhow, I go to college and I meet my ex. We'll call him Ben when I'm a junior. We fall in love, blah blah blah. He and I move in together when we graduated, so we've been living together for about 3 years. We were serious until July when I walked into my bedroom and I saw him fucking my sister. I broke it off. Tears were shed. He moved out, etc. My sister apologized at first, but then backed off. I thought she was giving me space, but last week she called, asking if we could meet up. She told me that she and Ben were in love and were just telling me as a courtesy before they started posting photos online. Distraught, I left her in the restaurant by herself and I didn't pay the portion of the bill. She later Venmo'd me asking for the money. She told my parents, who then called me to their house, telling me how disappointed they are in me for not supporting my sister's relationship with Ben. They brought up the fact that because she had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette and has a hard time meeting people. I don't buy this, in part because I've seen her socialize just fine, and since we spent a good chunk of the time together when she was sick, that would also mean that I should have bad social skills as well by that logic. They then told me that if I don't accept my sister and Ben's relationship, that they may go on a no contact with me. I reminded them that I'm also their daughter and they should understand my point of view, but they are adamant that this is me being jealous of her. For the record, I'm not jealous of her. I'm just upset that Ben picked her over me. I'm sad about the end of the relationship and I do feel betrayed, but Lord knows that I don't want to be with a cheater. What I'm upset about is the fact that my sister chose Ben over me. That she slept with Ben knowing that he and I were in a long-term committed relationship and continues to be with him knowing how much it hurts me. No one in my immediate family is talking to me. I'm getting messages from my aunts, uncles, and cousins telling me that I'm an asshole and I'm a selfish bitch. Update. Sometimes you can only laugh. Just got off the phone with my cousin who saw this post and said he could explain a few things. I asked him why he was on Reddit instead of school. He asked me why I was on Reddit instead of work. I said touche. He told me that after my conversation with my mom, she went to his house and talked to my aunt. And here's the deal. Turns out that my sister is not only in a relationship with Ben, but is also 4 months pregnant, which means that she and Ben were fucking for longer than I had even guessed. Apparently, my parents are so adamant that I forgive her because I'm already ruining their experience with their first grandchild. That's right, I'm less important than my stepmom posting ultrasounds to Facebook. This is where we're at. Anyhow, I called out of work sick the rest of the day. I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol, like a lot of alcohol, and then I'm gonna start thinking about what the fuck I'm going to do. Okay guys, so this one is an easy one. So her having cancer allows her to be a total asshole and sleep with your boyfriend, and then she has the nerve to bill you for the meal at the restaurant that she invited you to after sleeping with Ben and sacrificing your income to pay for her medical bills. Covering the damn charge is the least thing she could possibly do. And your parents, who are letting your sister use an illness she had over a decade ago as a crutch to excuse her shitty behavior, it just screams golden child syndrome. They are also assholes. And their excuse for her is that she lacks the social skills to meet new people. Well, apparently she didn't need any of those social skills to sleep with Ben. And to top it all off, they're forcing you to accept it, or they're going on a no contact with you. I mean, I say good riddance. You don't need people like this in your life, even if they're family. So no, OP, I don't think you're the asshole in this situation. Everyone just sucks. Yeah, this one really got under my skin, Chad. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyways, let's go on to the next story because the next one is just as crazy. Am I the asshole for yelling at my parents that their polyamory fucked up my childhood? I believe it started when I was around 6 years old. My parents often had friends over the house. I didn't know that they were polyamorous, of course. One day, when I was outside playing, I got hurt, and when I ran inside, I caught my parents making out with some random guy. They told me they have other adults that they love and it's a completely normal thing. Me being a child, I just accepted that. They gave up being secretive and their partners would constantly be around, even joining on outings. I remember that on my 10th birthday, they invited 3 of their partners, one of whom I've never seen before, and the rest of the day my parents just withdrew from my party and hung out with them. I never saw them doing anything explicit, but they would kiss their partners, hug them, and make flirty comments, something that would be normal between parents but with many more people. Sometimes I came home from school and my parents were just gone, and there were just some random adult in our house. Some of them seemed surprised that my parents even had a child. I always hated it, but since my parents told me that this was normal, I assumed that many adults probably did similar things, and this was just the adult things that all kids hate. Later, they had less partners and eventually seemed to stop, not that I'd know for sure because I moved out when I was 17. I didn't think about it anymore. A year ago, I started therapy. As usual, the topic of my upbringing came back up and it brought back some feelings that I wasn't aware of. I realized that although my parents were always good to me, I never really felt close to any of them, and I still have a lot of resentment that they made me feel that I had to compete with a random stranger for their attention. A while ago, I visited them and they told me they were going to take part in a documentary about polyamorous families, and that the producers would like to include interviews with children, so they would love if I could agree and tell everyone that polyamory doesn't mess kids up. All of my resentment bubbled up and I said that I can't agree because I would not be able to say anything positive. My parents looked shocked. I have never brought this up before and asked why, and I unloaded that I always felt pushed aside and that we barely had family time without strangers intruding. It turned into an argument and I became loud and I yelled the truth, as it did fuck me up. And they shouldn't have had a child if their number one priority was fucking the whole world. My mother cried and my father said that I should probably leave. So I left. I was shaken up for the rest of the week, but I also felt regret because I never made my mom cry before. Later, my father sent me a message that was like, "We're sorry you feel that way. Can we have a calm discussion about this soon?" Even though I tried to, it's like I can't reply. This argument brought up something very emotional in me. Okay, so I don't think the OP is wrong for reacting the way he did. They had their weird sex life front and center in his life. And he also said that he felt like he was competing for his parents' attention with strangers. I don't know, but to me that sounds like shitty parenting. And if you're into that kind of lifestyle, cool, but don't expect your kids to be cool with it, you know? So no, I don't think the OP is the asshole in this situation. Next story. Am I the asshole for my response to my sister's boyfriend's brutal honesty? My, female 35, sister, female 27, started dating one of those brutally honest guys a few months ago. He can be quite rude and make backhanded compliments about me and the family sometimes, which is bothersome, but my sister says he's not malicious, but he's just brutally honest, and we should just get used to it. I visited my parents' house to celebrate my sister's birthday, and my husband couldn't come with me because he was busy. After the party, we all sat down for dinner, and my sister's boyfriend said that it was weird that my husband and I didn't have kids despite being married for 6 years now. I was shocked that he brought this up, but I gave a short answer stating that it's because of infertility issues. He asked on which side. I didn't want to answer, but my sister said that it's on my side. I got uncomfortable as he looked at me for a second and said maybe not having kids now is a good thing because he thought women over 30 might produce defective babies due to their age. I told him that it was none of his business, but he said he was just giving his honest opinion and that's all. I in turn told him while maintaining eye contact, trust me, if I wanted an asshole's opinion, I would have farted. Literally, everyone at the table bursted into laughter and my sister and her boyfriend were stunned. A few seconds later, her boyfriend excused himself out, and then my sister followed, then sent me a text after saying that I was being mean and disrespectful towards her boyfriend and insulted him maliciously, just because he stated his honest opinion. She also said that I ruined her birthday by being petty and making her boyfriend the joke of the night in front of the family. I didn't respond, but she demanded an apology via mail as soon as possible. Mom agreed that I shouldn't have said what I said, and that I should have just ignored him knowing how he is. Okay, so the OP is definitely not the asshole here. It's the insensitive moron who is using his brutal honesty as a defense to not be labeled as an asshole. And the funny thing is, the minute you give this guy a taste of his own medicine, he has his feelings hurt. In fact, he should be the one apologizing to you for asking such an insensitive question, or instead keep his verbal diarrhea mouth shut. Like honestly, who the fuck raised you? There are just some questions you're not supposed to ask. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to smash the like button because it really helps out more than you know. It definitely keeps me motivated to keep making videos like this for you guys.